Okay, so my alternator is in place. We're back on the 93 um, Cadillac Allante, and we just replaced the alternator. And I will say that it's kind of a fiddly job. It comes out and goes back in through the through that. You can see the notch down there. There's an access panel down there. I've got another video where I pointed that out and showed you it's 4 screws. So that comes out. Turn the alternator face down when you try and take it out through that. You'll find it a little bit easier. You do have to work it past some electrical and AC lines, and like I said, it's a little bit fiddly and everything, and to get out. But it will come out, and you can replace it. I will say when you go to put the new alternator back in, butt first, face down, butt first. Up, right back up the way you took it out, and then you'll be able to spin it and get it up into position. There is a long bolt at the bottom that you would put in first, get that started, just make it sort of finger tight, and then that will allow you to pivot the alternator up into its bracket between this ear here and the front bolt here is kind of a tight fit. So that you're gonna have to work that into position, just exactly the way I had to wiggle it out of position when you took it out. So other than that, that's kind of the most difficult. It takes if you're doing this alone and you don't have an extra set and you're not three-handed or whatever, there's a little bit difficult to get it in position. But once you get that long bolt in down at the bottom, and you're able to pivot this up into position, it goes pretty easily. I won't say that you probably shouldn't try and lever it into position. This bolt here doesn't always come all the way back out, and it'll hit this shield, and there'll just be just enough thread that kind of interferes with you getting it. Just keep wiggling it. You don't have to go nuts on it with a pry bar or anything to get it in there. It'll go in. Once you have this alternator in the exact position that it's supposed to be in, it'll pivot up into its bracket, and you'll be able to get that bolt in. Now, the one bolt that is further in than this, so this is the outside bolt. There's another one that's further in, about 3 or 4 inches in there. A lot of people say it's very, very difficult to get in, and it is. You can just, when you're taking it out, you can only just get your fingers on it. You can just barely get a wrench on it. I found that a way to get the bolt back in to the bracket, because it threads into the alternator. One of the thing that I did was the old trick. You can just barely see the hole that it goes into. If you've got that access panel out down at the bottom, you're looking up at it from the bottom. I can't actually even get the camera up in there. That's kind of how tight it is. But basically, you can see the hole from the bottom, and that allows you to use the old magnet on the wrench trick to hold the bolt in there, and then you can kind of get it back in there, get it into position, and then slide your wrench out. And then it's a fairly simple matter. If you kept those threads on the alternator clean, you can actually reach down in there with the tip of your finger and just kind of spin that bolt with the tip of your finger into the alternator, and then just tighten it up with a normal end wrench, and you're golden. So that's those are basically the notes on doing this job. I've got a number of other things, obviously, that I've got to take care of before I can call this button back up. I got to get the dog bones back on here and over here, and a bunch of other stuff. Got the new serpentine belt on. And I did another video where I talked about the belt tensioner and the additional idler pulley that's down there. The only thing I would say about replacing the serpentine belt on this is to leave it leave it loose up here, and then get it around all of the. It's got a weird route that it takes down there. Get it around all of the wheels, the crank and the AC and the alternator and the two idler pulleys. Get it on those first. Leave it loose up here, and then when you lever the tensioner, it's easy to just kind of grab the slack up here and stick it over top of the top wheel. So that's the only thing I would say about that. Other than that, it's taken a while to get this done. It's fiddly business, but still I'm having fun. Hope you are too.